Hello, everybody. This is Steam Team Problems, Episode 8. And it's me, Randy, and you,
And me, Chad.
Thanks for coming back to listen to us talk about heroclix. And if you don't know, our format currently is we talk about a random set and a random random figure. And we use random number generator to pick out both from our list of sets and figures. So, we've already done it. And somehow we got number 1. We got set number 1 and number 88.
Where it all began.
Oh yes, everybody's first figure, Rookie Blizzard.
Well, most people's first set, as it was the first set.
Wait, did you start with this set? No, you didn't. I know for a fact you did.
I didn't start with this set, but where the game started was this set.
Yes, that's true. And let's look at this figure. I don't know if it's in front of you. 35 points.
It is, yes.
1 keyword, scientist.
And 3 powers.
Yeah, 3 powers. Wow, this game was so different. He goes down to 4 attack.
Yeah, it was a different time back then.
I don't understand the logic of the old sets like that.
I don't know if logic played into it.
No, because when they were designing it, the top, what are you able to do when you're at lower?
Here's the thing. It wasn't that some pieces were really bad, which is true. But look at his defense. His defense also started at a 15, went down to an 11. So if you had a mirror match and you were facing this exact same piece and you were both on your last click, all you would need to do is hit with a 7. The most statistically possible result of 2d6s.
Wait. Okay, I got a question. So let's say, that's for a mirror match, but let's say, my 4 attack, I'm going to fight you, my clone, at top. I want to hit you with my 4 attack, and you're 15, whatever.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
I said if, for whatever reason, they were both on their lowest last click.
I mean, if I'm on my last click, I can't do anything to you, even with your 15 defense.
I mean, you could hit with a 11 or a 12
for 1 damage. It's just such a steep drop. I don't understand. I can't even imagine a modern click like this unless it was a purposeful thing. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see, because they have gone back to shorter dials. So for a moment, let's take a small break. I am going to look up at the very newest set and see if there is a significant drop similar to this.
At 35
going from
points.
A 9 attack to a 4 attack. So a difference of 5 and around 35 points, which in the newest Fantastic Four set, that's not too difficult to find, as a lot of those members are exactly 40 points.
All right.
So Okay, so not too much of a drop as it was. You're seeing a lot of 2-point drops from top attack to lower attack on some of these clips. 3-point drop.
Can you give specific numbers? I can't see what you're saying.
Okay, so let's look at number 1 from the Fantastic Four set. He starts off at an 11, goes to 10, 9, back up to 10 for his final click. So from top attack to lowest attack is only a 2-point drop, and it goes back to a higher number for his very last click. Invisible Woman starts off at a 10 for most of her dial, drops to a 9 for the last one. 40 points, 4 clicks long, something very, and Human Torch goes 11, 10, 10, 11. So the dramatic drop, I think you're right, doesn't steep that low. Okay, looking at I want to see if there's something similar point value, even though we know the point values have changed in how they calculate something like that nowadays.
Well, okay. So it was the first set. So
It was the very first set, yes.
like okay, so powers weren't as well defined. So it's like less of those like throughout the thing, and overall, if all the figures have a similar idea of like low numbers, it won't affect it that much. And then that's not even going into special power stuff that aren't in existence now, like the weird flight
Oh,
ability, how it used to be.
oh yeah, those are 5 years away.
Oh, I didn't real. I did. I thought that was during this first set.
Oh, you mean flight in general?
No, well, how there's the weird soaring or whatever.
Oh, I'm not sure when soaring was.
But it wasn't in the
Uh,
first.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see if I could find a flying character in this set. Okay, Vulture. Vulture's a flying character. Well, it seems to have that same dial setup that accounted for soaring on his piece. So maybe it was initially in the pre-stages, but I don't have a rule book from 2002.
No, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not doing that.
But at the very least, the dial and sculpt design for flying characters stayed the same until they removed that style of dial.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's a interesting figure. I don't know, cause I want to look at the difference between like the different levels. So okay, as you move up, you get more powerful keywords. All right, you get
Oh,
the traits.
keep in
Oh,
mind,
sorry, not traits.
keep
Yeah.
as you're looking at these earlier sets, they didn't necessarily have the keywords. This is a retroactive thing they did when they started having carded figures in '07, and those did come with keywords. They went back and retroactively gave other pieces keywords that should fit. So that may
Approximately.
not play into how these pieces were designed.
Okay, but they still had the team abilities, even though a lot of
Oh yeah,
those
the team
have
abilities exist.
changed.
Yes, several times by this point. Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, like that wise, there's not much difference between like, except an 11 attack. It's just it seems kind of insane for back then for how low defenses get,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Uh, it's pretty even. Like I like the idea of a Blizzard. I like that we got a new one eventually, even though it was like way later.
Yes.
I like Ironman villains. It's very interesting to think, okay, so this is your first set of heroclix, and you have a specific amount of characters from comic books and Marvel to add to a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this wasn't like a normal set. Didn't it all come in through like the boxes, right? There's no boosters.
I'm not sure if this was a booster set and um the initial like starter box was something separate. I think they were. I think the box was also called Infinity Challenge, but was separate as opposed to this that had the booster format.
Hmm.
Although now I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think all of these figures fit inside that box.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. So it's such a weird look back. It's not in a bad way. It's just it's interesting. The most experience I have from like these like older sets is like people gave me a lot of their old figures from these old sets. Like when I started the
Yes.
game, and only later do I realize, oh, they're not very good. But that's all I had.
Yeah, I think after a while you're like, well, I have all this stuff. I can't sell it. I can't trade it. I can't do anything with it. I don't want to throw it away because they're still usable, especially all this pre-carded stuff. All you needed were the figures.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get somebody addicted to these plastic figures of heroes and villains they may enjoy and have them become a lifelong member of this cult of hero cults?
Mm-hmm. That's what we're about here. I
And
do.
that's always my.
I also liked. Well, we used to do this, but we made our own custom clicks, and we would use older figures a lot of the time because they were so
That's
plentiful
that's
and easy to get. Sorry, what?
that's true. There was a point where I would mod figures to look or pose different, or sculpt swapped, or do something similar, separate from designing our own and repackaging them with unique dials and powers and such.
Which we eventually did. We have our own heroclix of ourselves with
Yes.
our own traits and powers and everything. I gave mine away, so I don't have mine anymore.
I
But
believe
you have the
I
rest of the
have.
group, right?
I think I have most of the other ones. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want to
I'm very
remake
sure.
mine anyway, so
Yeah.
it's fun. And I like Blizzard. I don't know. He's not horrible for the time. It's just like in retrospect, it's so different. It's like trying to compare like a car from the '60s to a Model T. You know,
Yeah. But
it's
then also, which they don't necessarily do in this particular way anymore, it is the rookie. It's the
mm-hmm.
very bare bones version of this character, and as you go to experienced and veteran, he does get slightly better. He does get more powers and better numbers for his stats. If you look at the veteran version, he's got 8 running shot, 11 psychic blast, and still the 1 damage. But now he's 6 clicks long,
Pulse
and
wave.
his lowest attack is now a 5 instead of a 4.
So you meant pulse wave.
I did mean pulse wave, and I didn't realize if I misspoke.
That's alright. That
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's that. I did like that from older sets. I did like how you could represent different eras of a character, or even in some cases later in other sets that were still have the rev thing, um, different like characters, but like
yeah,
who like may have had the same costumes.
yeah, it could represent a different person with that code name,
Mm-hmm.
with that alias.
Or it's like, okay, like maybe we're not gonna make another whatever, like Speedy or some shit, right? That's an example. And it's
Yeah,
like, okay, let's make the experience one the the Mia one, not the Roy Harper one, or something like that.
yeah.
That's an example. I know that's not accurate to how it actually worked out for that characters, but
Well, I think one they did do, which also was DC, they had the Atom, they had Ray Palmer as the experienced and the veteran, but the rookie was Ryan. It was
what
actually
they
the
did
all.
that?
Yeah, I want to say it was right before they did carded figures. So was that what was that set? Origins, I believe. Let me double check. Uh,
That's so cool. I don't
it
know.
was either
There's little.
yes, it was Origins. So in Origins, the Atom figures numbers 46 through 48, the experienced and the veteran were Ray Palmer. And then, although I believe the sculpt was the exact same, and I don't think it very, very much, it was actually called the All New Atom, which is not Ray Palmer.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. I love stuff like that. Also,
Yeah.
I think it was Origins too, but this is a smaller thing. I think they did the same thing with Mirror Master. I'm pretty sure. I know for sure the sculpts are different, where one is an actual figure and then the other one is like the little mirror him.
Uh,
But like I'm
you
pretty
know,
sure one is like Sam and the other one's the original one, which I forget his name.
yeah, I think. Let me see. At least the experienced version is the mirror one,
Mm-hmm.
and the rookie is an actual figure. Although, and I think on this site that we're using, they don't have an accurate picture for the veteran version. I think they just reused the rookie version.
Hmm.
Yeah, they did.
But I think the character is supposed to be different,
Yeah,
which I like is which makes sense too. People mix up the Mirror Masters a lot.
I didn't know there were more than one.
Come on, one's Scottish.
I thought that was the only one.
What? Oh my god, the other one died, so he took his stuff and was a mercenary.
Ah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah. Mark Wade, you can thank him for that. But let me. I'm looking at the Blizzard again. I do like it. I have nothing against this figure. I was just being judgmental at first because, you know, I was raised on the now clicks. Now, what I find interesting about this first set too,
What?
people tell me a lot when I bring up heroclix. Oh yeah, I used to play. I remember getting like way long ago when it first started. There's a lot of people who tell me they started like at the very beginning of the game and then they dropped off on it. And I'm like, I that's insane to me, and I think it's weird that in modern now it doesn't seem to be as prevalent as it was when it started. Even though now I feel we have more dedicated fans of it because the game has been streamlined more.
Yeah, I think it was more widespread when it was new because it was new. It's like, oh, what's this thing? Oh, let me check this out. Oh, it's all the heroes and villains I enjoy. This seems very interesting. And then another set comes out, and another set comes out, and another set comes out, and for whatever reason, especially in those early days, they kind of took resculpting and even redialing a bit far. Like
Well, yeah, like we were
they,
saying those
they
small
kind of
differences, you know?
yeah, they kind of played it to where either there were small differences or no differences in some of the pieces. Like I want to say there's like a shield rookie or shield generic, and it was the exact same thing. Or even like named characters, and it was the exact same dial, and maybe a power is different,
Or
but the
like
stats were the same.
it seems like the main difference is like they'll add a click, like just one or two clicks, and then maybe
Yeah, like maybe
another.
longer.
Uh, sorry, what?
Like maybe it'll be a click longer.
Mm-hmm. Or just like one more power on the second or third click or something.
Yeah, and it looks like it was kind of trying to adhere to like what certain card games would do, to where I'll reissue a card and it will be from a newer set, and it'll maintain within whatever modern rules we currently have, and the older one will just kind of go by the wayside, which
Mm-hmm.
does kind of happen nowadays, anyways. But you have more variety in the type of piece you're able to use, despite what character it's based on.
Yeah. I don't know. So okay, stuff like that. It makes me think if they had thought more about the streamlining of mechanics and like distribution of characters, the game when it started would have blown up more. Like
I believe so. Yes.
it's kind of sad. It's like well, it was a different company at that time.
I had that same thought. I'm like, wow, it was a different company back then. It had different a parent company, and their goals and maybe input was slightly different from who owns and controls and helps distribute and market it now.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a bummer, you know, but thankfully now the game is like, you know, it's more of a constant like thing of like stuff is changing. It changes more frequently. Like you could follow the
Yeah,
different eras of the game,
yeah,
and I like that, you know. I I don't, again, I do not want to talk shit about an old set. You know what I mean? But it's just you can see the flaws of stuff, and then you can see stuff that did carry over to now, sort of. I like how we've kept an idea of Rev sort of in figures with like multiple what do you call it? Like multiple starting points,
Yeah.
and like they're still colored with the red, blue, yellow, and that's fun. I I like where they streamlined the idea of Rev to be on one figure, which
Yes, I
makes a
do. I
lot of
do like.
sense. You know.
Or for what they did for a time was we would have the main set, and we would have a fast force or a starter, and we would have the gravity feed, and sometimes the REV would be spread across those different instances of the set in a different product.
Mm-hmm. I guess you could make the argument that the way it's set up currently, it's more of a money. It's a money saving idea because like you don't have to do multiple sculpts, and also fans might like it better too because they won't complain of reuse of sculpt for the same
True.
figure.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just Doctor Doom, but like when he was young, and I had to buy it separately in a gravity feed. It's like, okay, when you could just put it in the 300 point Doctor Doom and just have him have a 100 point starting point. It's
Yeah.
it's damn, such a. I like looking at the evolution of the game. I like the way it's going.
I do too. I mean, they've had a couple of missteps here and there. They've tried, they've taken risk, and it's paid off because they're still here now.
Yeah, that's true. And it's still growing. There's different IPs. We got the Justice
Yeah.
League set. That's weird. You get stuff like the video game sets.
Oh yeah.
TMNT, like three different TMNTs.
Yeah, the Star Trek stuff they've done,
Mm-hmm.
the movie stuff that they were able to make big pieces out of. The fact that they did their own unique one after who knows how long with the Undead set.
Man, I don't know. It's such a trip to look back at this, and I'm glad we did. You know. I
Yes.
have nothing else. Do you have any closing words for Blizzard?
For this Blizzard, no. Seems like it would have been a pretty cool piece back in the day.
Mm-hmm. All right, and yeah, it would have been. So then next time we should get an old person to talk to us about this, like interview with a World War II vet. You know.
Yes, tell us your experiences of the battlefield in yesteryear.
Oh, this was a time before even feats existed. Yeah, event dials. More like no. Okay. Thank you for listening. This was Theme Team Problems. Uh, yeah. Come back to listen to us. We have a Instagram at Comic Mistakes, comic_mistakes. We have a YouTube channel also called Comic Mistakes, where you can find videos about comic books and heroclix, and for iTunes and Spotify. Yeah, thank you for listening. Goodbye. I thought you were gonna say something.